one. Everything that went right in the first half of the season has got off to a horrific start. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the gods playing a little bit of catch up now. And
They seem like a very average team. I understand they're first in their division, but the way they look right now.
And for me, that's not taking Willie Nylander off the hook here, or even John had maybe one of the worst games I've seen all season long last night as well. But there's a lot of things going on right now outside of just not getting a bounce for the Leafs.
The one thing I'll say about the comments in the media is that I don't blame them for not killing themselves in the media, because that just raises the temperature around the team, right? If they come out and go, "Well, we're awful and we're not good enough at our standard," it could contribute to noise, and so I get them coming out and saying, I'm just hoping that in their dressing room, they're not also going, "Boy, we only gave them 3 chances and they scored on all 3." Like that. I just hope that there is a different message being sent behind the scenes than we're hearing, because not to go on a bunkus tangent here, but was this not supposed to be coach accountability? Wasn't that supposed to be the turnover from Keefe?
The only thing we do see is every once in a while, Berube give it to them on the bench, right? That's pretty much the closest we've seen.
We saw Sheldon do that too. Guys yell at the players on the bench.
Did you text or tweet something about Sheldon and Craig Berube being identical? Or
I did. Yeah, I did.
Tell us about it.
Well, I just listened to what you guys are saying here.
It was off.
It was a Scooby-Doo
mask reveal.
And it's just, he pulls off the Berube and Sheldon.
Face, and it's Berube.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Severance. It's coming back this weekend, where it's the basis of it is a guy who lives his normal life, and then he goes into an elevator at work, and he something happens in his brain. They got a chip in his brain, and he goes into his office and he does all this stuff, but he forgets what he does there, and he's a different person outside of work. I think they got a severance chip in every guy that walks through the Leafs door, because I was promised Mr. Accountability, Mr. Crap on everybody, call them out in the media, bench guys. What in the world did William Nylander do last night to play 22 minutes in a hockey game?
Oh my God.
22 minutes in a hockey game. There was 4 shifts in the third period. I'm like, that has to be his last shift. Yeah. And they kept running him out there. They pull the goalie with 2 minutes left and put all 5 stars out there in a dog effort 4-1 loss with the 2 minutes left. The whole point of this, to get away from Sheldon, was to go back to the rough, gruff guy. And we haven't seen it one time. He hasn't said one mean thing in the media. He hasn't benched one guy for one shift. And it's kind of wearing thin here.
Yeah.
It's getting close to shooting a gun time, a bullet time here. Use one.
3 weeks ago, you said he'll disappear for 12 games. He's at 11 now. So,
but it's just,
it doesn't make it okay.
It's not and I think for this 3-game losing streak, you lose games because you don't get saves and your stars don't produce. That's kind of what happens. But Willie needs to play way better. They're paying him top dollar. The reason they haven't won a lot of games, or they've been close to these games, because he hasn't produced. It's just, I was promised something that I'm not getting here.
I said in our group chat last night, has he benched one player for one shift that you can recall in 45 games? Can you remember one?
Not of significance.
No.
Maybe a missed rotation or 2.
Not enough that we remember it.
But not enough.
Willie has a goal and 5 assists in his last 10 games.
But
I know. But
do you guys know what I'm saying here?
3 or 4 weeks ago,
exactly.
3 or 4 weeks ago, he was in the running for the Rocket Richard. They've been in first place pretty much all year. It's and
he started playing in gumboots.
I'm the one that's
flip-flops.
I suggested it last week that it would maybe help him, and I don't believe. I believe there's a fine line when it comes to benching, that you could send a message to an individual. You can also send it to 19 other people, 19 other guys on the team, a fan base, and still not embarrass or humiliate a player. So it's up to Craig Berube to find that fine line, but he has not found it. And I do believe that Willie could use a reset.
Yeah.
He could.
The last 5 minutes of that game last night was a perfect opportunity. You're generating nothing. You're not coming back from anything. And then he just you keep rolling him out there. You, like you said, you pull the goalie down 4-1 and you put all 5 guys out there. I'm like, what is going on?
I hate the little backhand chip pass he tries to make through guys instead of, chip it off the wall and keep skating. Like it just doesn't
take time
feel
to break.
It doesn't feel like he's dug in. And again, this is a greater conversation. This is not about last night versus Dallas necessarily, because last night wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. Carolina wasn't terrible. Fine. Whatever you think about these past 3 losses, it's just, I don't know. I expected their expectations to be higher for themselves. And it feels like right now, if you bench guys early, it's easier to bench guys later because you've been benching guys. It's just part of how you coach. Now it's going to be a big deal because no one's been benched.
All right, let's go to Craig Berube for a comment on William Nylander, clip 8.
This is from today.
Talk about working his way out of it. I think, I go back to the Carolina game. I thought in that first period he was really explosive in that game and on top of things. Just getting him back to more consistency with that. And when he has opportunity, shoot the puck. Like he's got a great shot. And, he had a post last night on the power play, but he's got to shoot. And he's got to just stay involved in the game. A little bit longer than he is. Like, I think, just working your way out of it. Just like our whole team. Offensively, we got to keep working and got to stay on. Need second and third effort everywhere. This league's a second and third effort league. And this time of year, it gets hard, and we all know that. And we need second and third effort.
Do we also have a clip of him
We
talking
do.
about the 3 losses in a row?
We do have a clip from today. And listener discretion is advised on this one.
From Willie. Okay.
From Willie. This wasn't from today. I just put it in there, Derek.
All good teams need to go through some stretch where everything's not clicking and everything like that. So, yeah, good teams find their way out of this. And, it's only been 3 games, so what's the big deal, really?
What's the big deal, really?
I would.
Does that?
I thought I
how
would
does
come
that compare to
unglued
Mitch
if I were-
Marner's comment for you?
About the same level.
Doesn't really matter if they boo. We know we're a good
it's worse
team,
for me
so.
too.
They're both bad. Neither are good. It's like, there's lots of
You've
things you
been
could say
booed
there.
off now twice,
Yeah.
right?
At home.
Less last night because there's more people that left the building.
Right.
And guess what? You know what? Last night, I give you my blessing. Leave. I'd have been gone.
Yeah.
Third goal goes in. I'm like, they're not scoring 2. I'm out.
And it's like, this is a stretch of games where we're coming up against good teams. Okay, let's measure ourselves against Carolina. Let's measure ourselves against Dallas. And you don't get the win. The big deal is, this is Joe Thornton in the Amazon dock where they called them in. They said, hey, we got some issues here. And Joe said, we're in first place. Like, what are we worried about? We're in first place. It's like the process.
And he's
personally for a reason. So
that quote there, it's not 3 games, Willie. It's 8 years. It's 8 years of this.
and he should know better after 8 years that you
matters.
should know this town.
well, like,
You can't. No one's going to let you get away with that comment of what's the big deal.
what's the big deal is so hurtful to me. Like, it's the big deal that there's tens of millions of people that pour their heart and soul as like a fan into this, and they're watching crappy games, and you're making $11.5 million, and you look awful for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you say, what's the big deal? It's not going to.
What's the big
A lot
deal,
of people
really?
can afford one ticket, give tickets to one game a year.
Yeah.
Watch you go
I
play
don't
in
Is this
flip-flops.
Is this just an individual thing, or is this just the way this generation is today, where it
No.
just seems to me like Joseph Wall last night. I don't know if you have any clips of him last night, but the first thing he talked about was how good his buddy was 200 feet away. He was good,
Yeah.
right? And it's like,
He wasn't that good.
it was forget about whether or not he was good or not. It's like, hey, how about you focus on you instead of pumping up your buddy with your first comment on 3 in a row? And it's just, I don't know. I just think that today they look at big pictures. They don't focus on 3 bad games. And if they do, it's like water off a back. We'll get them tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, is for me, it's just not Willie. It's just I think, you know,
Yeah,
what
from the
we're
top. It's from the top down for a long.
Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin to Los Angeles Kings, possible deal with Toronto Maple Leafs. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmonds, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmonds' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Brayden Schenn. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. Stay tuned for updates to see if these trades come to fruition and how they might shape the future of Toronto and Los Angeles this season. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmonds, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmonds' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Brayden Schenn. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. The Kings' situation is complex, as they are in the midst of a transitional period. Their aging roster, which includes a core group that led them to several successful playoff campaigns in the past, has seen some struggles in recent seasons. While there's a clear need for defensive help, Los Angeles may also want to improve their offensive consistency in order to make a deep playoff push. The combination of Beauchemin's defensive reliability and Versteeg's offensive upside could help the Kings balance their lineup. From the Leafs' perspective, this potential deal is about retooling for the future. The team is in a position to compete, but they also need to solidify certain areas on the ice. Adding a player like Wayne Simmonds could provide the grit and scoring touch that the team has been missing. Furthermore, acquiring a mid-range draft pick could help with future team-building efforts, as Toronto looks to remain competitive while still developing young talent. The inclusion of Kaberle in the trade package could be a strategic move for both teams. The veteran defenseman, who has been with the Leafs for a long time, has seen his role diminished in recent seasons. However, his experience and offensive abilities could be a valuable asset for Los Angeles, who could use a steady presence on the blue line to help their younger players develop. The talk surrounding Brayden Schenn's potential involvement in the deal adds an intriguing layer to the negotiations. Schenn, a versatile forward, has shown flashes of brilliance but has been inconsistent at times. If the Leafs are able to land him, it could be a great opportunity for both the player and the team to find success together. Schenn's physicality, two-way game, and leadership could be exactly what the Leafs need to bolster their forward group. While the trade market can be volatile and unpredictable, these rumors suggest that both the Kings and Leafs are preparing for significant changes. For Toronto, this could mark the beginning of a new era, with a focus on adding more experience and depth. For Los Angeles, the trade could be a chance to retool and address some of the weaknesses in their lineup, while still competing for a playoff spot this season. Of course, as with any trade rumors, it's important to remember that these discussions are fluid and can evolve quickly. There are many moving parts in these types of negotiations, and both teams will likely have to weigh their options carefully before making any final decisions. It's also possible that other teams could enter the fray, further complicating the situation. In the coming days, fans of both teams will be watching closely to see if any concrete moves are made. The NHL trade deadline is fast approaching, and teams are scrambling to position themselves for a successful postseason. Whether this rumored deal materializes or not, the possibility of a major trade between the Leafs and Kings will certainly keep fans on edge as the season continues to unfold. The trade talks involving Versteeg, Beauchemin, and potentially Simmonds or Schenn highlight the delicate balance that NHL teams must strike between immediate success and long-term growth. Both the Leafs and Kings are trying to find that balance, and this rumored deal could ultimately serve as a